Ayala and welcome to What's Growing On in Your Neighborhood. Today we're going to meet some of the neighbors who make our neighborhood sustainable. Today we are visiting neighborhoods in Riverside, California and learning about neighbors who share their garden knowledge, materials, and harvest. Let's go. Our first stop is Frances. We're going to talk to her about her veggie table and how she's created community within her neighborhood just by the things that come out of her garden. Your property is absolutely amazing here. So you have 5 acres, correct?
Correct.
And you have been here for how long?
25 years.
Wow, beautiful. So none of this was here when you purchased the...
Correct. It was completely bare. It was a horse ranch where the horses ate anything green.
Wow.
So my husband, as a biologist, wanted to put in native plants, and that's what we've been doing. But he let me have a big garden, and that's my favorite spot, of course.
Yes. And please tell us, so you share your garden bounty with your neighbors through nextdoor.com.
Correct.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been sharing my vegetables for 10 years. I have a wonderful little guest book that I love.
Oh.
And before I used to just put a sign in my front yard, I have free veggies. And I did that because, I didn't want to waste, and I hate wasting things, and I figured somebody could use it. So most of my local neighbors on the street and such were the beneficiaries of that. But then when Nextdoor came out, it was awesome because I could just post on there that I had these veggies. And by that time I realized my garden could be, more bountiful, and so I made it bigger, and I made more vegetables, way more than I would ever need, for the sole purpose of giving them away. And what I found is not just that it's fun to meet people, because I now know most of my neighbors, where before I didn't know anybody. It creates community, and we all kind of get to know each other.
Tell me more about the community you've built through your garden.
Well, what I've learned is it's not just people who need vegetables that stop. It's people that need companionship. I have several elders that come by the table and just want to sit and talk for a few minutes. And I feel like there's a lot of loneliness, and so I give them time to talk with me and share. There's a few families that are really hurting monetarily in this area too, and I just feel like if I can help them eat healthier, that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your service.
No problem.
And building community here for us in Riverside through your garden. That's
My
amazing.
pleasure.
Next, meet Serenity, a Girl Scout who sells her backyard citrus at a stand to raise money for adopting dogs from the animal shelter. Okay, so we're here at your guys' fruit stand, so tell us a little bit about it. What do you guys do here exactly?
We have a lot of extra fruit in our backyard. We have an orchard back there, and so my daughter actually came up with the idea that we should put it out front for our neighbors, for anyone that might want it, so it doesn't go bad and all that. And then we came up with the idea if we put a jar out there, and for donations, so we do take donations if they want to. It's take what you can, leave, or take what you want, leave what you can, and then all our donations go to animal shelters. So.
Awesome. Now we are going to Beth's house, who I know as Miss Strolka. Let's go tour her gardens.
Welcome to my garden.
Hello, I'm here with Miss Strolka, who happens to be my amazing kindergarten teacher. We're here at her house. She's going to be showing us around her gardens. Miss Strolka regularly donates to the Salvation Army. Any of the goods she has left over, whether that be onions, pumpkins, or even oranges. And check out the beautiful mural she has painted in one of her gardens. You have such a beautiful home, so what garden are we going to see next?
Well, I'd like to take you where I plant all my onions, and my husband is a terrific cook, so he uses all my onions in his delicious food.
Now, let's go check out Bonnie's Growin garden. Bonnie, thank you so much for letting us come into your home. Tell us a little bit about your garden.
My pleasure. Okay, my grandson, 2-year-old now, when he was about 18 months, we started building this garden, and he helped me even put the screws in and dump the dirt in, and so he was instrumental in helping to get this together. And I grow these things for him. One, to get the caterpillars for the butterflies and moths, and secondly, to get the fresh fruit and nutrient-rich vegetables with no pesticides or anything like that.
It's incredible.
Sorry.
So you have some really special fruit trees here on your property. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Yes, my mother and father moved in here in the early 70s, and my dad systematically changed the native plants to fruit trees because he was really into it, and he joined the California Rare Fruit Growers Society, the local chapter, and so he got very interested in all the fruits that people would tell him, oh, well, you can't grow that here. And this little hill has a special microclimate, and it allows him to grow mangoes. You can see a mango tree here. We have many mango trees and papayas and guavas and a sapote tree and a cherimoya tree. So we have some really unusual things as well as a whole lot of variety of blood oranges and mandarins.
Wow. Bonnie also has a pollinator garden where any pollinator can come, grab a drink of water, and get some pollen. For people who want to learn more about conserving water, visit 4 styles of water-wise yards and lots of different plants at the Land Use Learning Center at 14th Street at the base of Mount Rubidoux. The plants are labeled to help people decide what they like for landscaping their yards. Finally, we meet Diana Ruiz at her beautiful home. So I've had the pleasure of meeting with Beth and Bonnie, and they live in your neighborhood, right?
I have some pretty amazing names. Yeah,
Yeah.
fabulous. And they're just a few of them. So over the years, I've really gotten to know most of my neighbors. And
That's incredible.
it seems like each one has either a special interest or talent that they bring to the neighborhood. As I said, they share their produce and their jams and such. And in fact, one of my neighbors, during the recession, we had all these feral cats, a whole colony, taking over our neighborhood. And all the neighbors got together and pitched in, and we got them all neutered so they would quit reproducing. And one of my neighbors is a cat lover, and so she feeds them regularly.
How sweet.
So there's all kinds of kind of special talents or interests that people have.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I love it.
Feel very, very fortunate to have this great of a
That's
neighbor.
incredible.
I
Yeah.
guess you could say we grow neighborliness.
Oh, I love that. Yes, truly,
Yeah.
you do. That's great. Thank you again so much for having me. So I have to say, the first thing I noticed driving into your neighborhood is all the beautiful trees. It's hard to miss.
Yeah, well, that's the reason we moved to this neighborhood, because it's just has so many beautiful trees and it creates such a nice environment here. I mean, it costs a little bit more in the summer and fall because I water them to keep them healthy and stress-free. And it's important if people turn off their water to make sure they, water their trees, because this is like a 30, 40-year investment. You don't want to lose during a drought.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but in the long run, they pay you back. I mean, my air conditioning bills are less. It's a beautiful environment. It's much cooler out
It
here in the
is so
shade.
cool in the shade. I wish you guys
beautiful.
could feel how cool it is out here right now.
Yeah, and in fact, the Forest Service, U.S. Forest Service, did research on trees in our climatic conditions here. And over the course, of course, this was done many years ago, so it's probably even better now. But over the course of the lifespan of a tree, they save almost $4,000 for the homeowner. Plus, they raise your property values.
Oh yeah, that's amazing, incredible, beautiful.
So.
What are some tips you can give someone who has a mature tree or multiple trees in their yard?
Well, I mean, besides the importance of having to water here in our area, it's also important to prune when the birds aren't nesting.
Okay.
So here that could be anywhere from February to July, depending upon the weather. And what I do is I hire an arborist who has training, wildlife aware training, so they don't disturb any nests.
Okay,
And
great.
also, if people want to learn more or they want to find out about how to prune and water, on the website of the Inland Urban Forest Council, there are publications there to help guide people for our area.
Awesome. Thank you. For people who want to take good care of their trees, they can refer to the Inland Urban Forest Council's website for information about watering, pruning, spreading compost and mulch, and much more. One of the reasons I love living in Riverside is that we have so much growing on and so many resources. Riverside has 7 community gardens and volunteers who share their expertise, including master gardeners, master composters, and Riverside Garden Council. Part of Riverside is under quarantine for the invasive pest, the Asian citrus psyllid, or ACP. If you live in the quarantine area, please don't move any part of a citrus tree. Find information and quarantine boundaries at the California Department of Food and Agricultural's website. Other groups to learn from or get involved with include Riverside Food Co-op and Food Rescue, California Native Plant Society, and California Naturalist. Most importantly, find out what's growing on and going on in Riverside at the Riverside Neighborhood Partnership website and Facebook page at rmpinfo.com. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, getting to know a little bit more about our neighbors and neighborhoods here in Riverside. I'm Sarah Ayala. I sit on the Riverside Neighborhood Partnership and the Transportation Board. I'm a local real estate agent here serving with Windermere Tower Properties. If you want to contact me about what's going on in your neighborhood, contact me today.